Hey, so let's jump right into a really interesting puzzle. Have you ever noticed how some of the smartest, most brilliant people you know can be, well, kind of awkward in just normal, everyday conversations? It's a strange paradox, right? So today, we're going to break down the hidden logic behind why that happens. I mean, really think about it. You're at a party, maybe a work event, and the chat is super light. The weather, what you did last weekend, easy stuff. But for some people, that simple back and forth feels like torture. It's like they're trying to crack a code with all the wrong keys. So, what is actually going on inside their head? You know, this quote just nails it. It really gets to the heart of what that feels like. It's not just a small annoyance, it's a nightmare. Why? Because their minds are just wired for depth, and all that shallow chatter feels like, well, like useless static. To really get why, we've got to look at their mental operating system. Yeah, to understand this, we have to go way beyond just saying, oh, they're introverted. We have to look at the actual blueprint of their mind. Think of it like a computer. Most of us are running one kind of operating system, and they're running a completely different one, built for a totally different job.
And here it is, the core of the whole thing. This mind blueprint is powered by something called a high need for cognition. And that's not just a preference, it's a fundamental drive. Their brain isn't just passively receiving information, it's actively trying to analyze it, double-check it, and make sure every little detail is precise. It's their default setting, it's just always on.
This phrase just says it all, doesn't it? What looks like a social bug, the hesitation, the awkward silence, it's not a flaw. Not at all. It's a feature of that powerful analytical mind. It's just a side effect of having an engine that's built for deep, complex problems, not for breezy chit-chat. Okay, so how does this feature actually play out in a real conversation? Let's use a metaphor here, because it's a perfect one. For them, a simple conversation isn't just a casual exchange. Oh no, it's a strategy game, and every single word is a critical move. So, for most of us, a good conversation is like a river, right? It just flows, it's all about connection, and you just kind of go with the current. But for a highly analytical mind, it's a chessboard. Every single thing they say is a deliberate move, carefully considered for its accuracy, its implications, and where it fits in the logical structure of the game. And this is where it all clicks. Look at the difference. The whole goal of small talk is just connection, and it moves fast. But the goal of analytical talk is precision, and it's slow and strategic. So you can see why trying to play a game of chess in the middle of a fast-flowing river is going to be exhausting, right? The two systems are just built for completely different things. So this internal chess match leads to something you can actually see on the outside. It creates what you could call a quality control factory inside their head. And this factory, it's the reason for that famous, sometimes awkward pause. You've seen it. I'm sure you have. You ask a totally simple question like, how was your weekend? And you get silence. Just for a beat or two. It's not because they didn't hear you. It's because the production line and their mental factory just fired up. And here's what's happening in that tiny moment of silence. It is a full-blown, multi-step quality control process. Okay, step 1, an idea is generated. But wait, step 2, it's immediately checked for factual accuracy. Step 3, it's analyzed for any possible way it could be misunderstood. Step 4, the wording is polished for perfect clarity. And only then, step 5, it gets final approval to be spoken out loud. And this happens for almost every single sentence. So get this. Metaphorically, for every 10 thoughts that pop into their head and enter this factory, 9 get thrown out. 9. They're rejected because they might be a tiny bit imprecise, or maybe a little ambiguous, or just not worded perfectly. The quality standard for what actually gets said is incredibly high. So let's be super clear here. That pause isn't a sign of a slow mind. It's the absolute opposite. It's the sign of a mind that's working at lightning speed, running this incredibly complex filtering process that most of us just don't. We just skip it in casual chat. The delay is the process. Okay, so what's the big takeaway here? How does knowing all of this change how we see their behavior? It's really all about flipping the script on our assumptions. This is where everything changes. That behavior we might have thought was arrogance or being aloof, nope, it's intense analysis. The complaint that small talk is boring and shallow, well, for a mind that craves depth, it is. That social awkwardness is just a symptom of the quality control factory working overtime.
And that pause, that's the sound of a brilliant mind doing what it does best.
And this really is the most powerful way to think about it. The struggle isn't a lack of social skill. It's the constant, mentally draining burden of having to translate their complex, precise, analytical inner world into a language that fits the fast, simple, connection-based world of everyday conversation.
So I'll just leave you with this question. Now that you have a peek into this different mental operating system, how might that change how you talk to someone like this? Maybe you could ask a deeper question, or maybe you could just give them the gift of a comfortable moment of silence. Knowing what you know now, what's your next move?